Well, good morning, man. I'm on West Coast time, so it's early out here. I know it's not early there. It is May the 9th. It's May the 9th. My goodness. So we turn to the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, for God's daily dose of wisdom. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Proverbs chapter 9 is an interesting. It's a short book. It's not long, and so we're going to contrast the first part of Proverbs chapter 9 with the last part of Proverbs chapter 9. And it's about the personification of wisdom. In Proverbs chapter 9, wisdom is presented as a woman. And she has this personality. And I think you'll see what this is all about when we get into it. So Proverbs chapter 9, starting in verse 1, going through verse 6. This is the first part. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has prepared her food. She has mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her maidens. She calls from the tops of the heights of the city. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. To him who lacks understanding, she says, come, eat of my food and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding. Interesting. So she's done all this work. She has worked. She has built her house. She's even hewn out the 7 pillars for her house, and she's prepared her food. She's done all this work, and not only has she done that, but she's sent out maidens. So she's getting the word out. She's trying to spread the word about wisdom. She's calling out from the heights of the city. Now she says something really interesting. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. To him who lacks understanding, she says. Now that word understanding is an interesting word because it's translated as understanding, but it's also translated as heart. So heart, as we understand in the Bible, is the essence of the individual. It's the thing inside of us. Yes, it pumps blood, but from a biblical standpoint, your heart is your constitution. It's your inner self. It's your strength from within you. So she's saying, to him who lacks heart, come eat of my food. Now, somebody who lacks heart, who lacks understanding and who lacks heart, that's somebody that you could describe as someone who is weak. They're weak in their faith. They're weak in their understanding. And so she says, come, eat of my food, drink of the wine I've mixed, forsake your folly and live. She's trying to strengthen this individual. She's trying to bolster this individual. In modern day vernacular, we might say that this is an individual who lacks a backbone. It's somebody who is weak, who does not have conviction. And she's trying to undergird him and give him that conviction so that he can be strong and forsake his folly and live. Now let's contrast that with verses 13 through the end of the chapter, verses 18, just a few verses. The woman of folly is boisterous. She is naive and knows nothing. She sits at the doorway of her house on a seat by the high places of the city, calling to those who pass by, who are making their paths straight. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. And to him who lacks understanding, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. Quite a contrast. Now, at first glance, it sounds almost as if she's saying very similar things to the people who pass by. But notice who her target is. She's calling to those who pass by who are making their paths straight. She's calling out to people who are trying to do the right thing. She's targeted those individuals who are trying to be honest, trying to be righteous, trying to follow after God. And she's saying the same thing that wisdom is saying. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. And to him who lacks understanding. She's targeting that individual who's weak, and she's targeting those individuals who are trying to do the right thing. But notice also, she hasn't prepared anything. She hasn't done what wisdom has done. She hasn't done the hard work of preparation. She hasn't hewn out any pillars. She hasn't prepared her food. She hasn't mixed her wine. She's very passive. And she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. The contrast could not be more different. The woman of folly, who is boisterous, who is loud, who is trying to gain attention, she is targeting those people who are trying to do the right thing, and for those people who are weak. And she's saying, why work for it? Stolen water is sweet. Bread eaten in secret is pleasant. You don't have to work for it. And isn't it interesting that the world systems that we see today are espousing a similar philosophy? That you can take from those who are working hard and you can give to those who are doing nothing. That you are entitled to certain things and it should be given to you. You should have a free education and you should have all kinds of free stuff. It's being offered up by those who are calling out, to those who are trying to make their paths straight. They're calling out to those who lack understanding, who lack heart. And the world systems are trying to drag us down. The enemy is trying to change our focus from a focus of action to a focus of passivity, and to just be passive and to have everything given to us. And it could not stand in more stark contrast to the way God works. He worked 6 days and he rested on the seventh day. That ratio of work to rest is a lot different than the ratio of work to rest that we even see in this country. Now, I'm not saying that you got to work all the time and you got, don't have any fun and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the direction that we're going, our direction or our trajectory is important. Are we headed towards God or are we headed towards the world? Heading towards the world is easy because the world is going downhill. And as you probably understand, anything that's going downhill tends to pick up speed. But Newton's laws still are in effect. A body at rest tends to stay at rest unless it's acted upon by a force. A body in motion tends to stay in motion unless it's acted upon by a force. If you're headed the wrong direction, it's going to take effort. It's going to take work. And that's what wisdom did. Wisdom did the work. God did the work. And he's calling out to us, forsake your folly and live. Stop being passive. Stop listening to the world systems that tell you that you don't have to work. I think it was Mike Rowe, the guy who put together the Dirty Jobs show, who said that luck is opportunity dressed up in work clothes. He understands about work. Now, I'm not talking about work in the sense of sweat and all of that stuff. I'm talking about work in the sense of getting after the things of the kingdom. And Proverbs chapter 8, and I apologize for not bringing this yesterday, the daily devotion yesterday, but in Proverbs chapter 8, verses 34 and 35, we read, "Blessed is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at my doorposts. For he who finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord." This is a guy who's getting after it, watching daily at her gates, waiting at her doorposts. He wants wisdom, and so he's going after it. He's getting after it. And he finds life and favor from the Lord as a result of that. I think the worst thing that has happened, one of the worst things that has happened to our society, is the passivity of the men. And I love the Fourth Day community because the men in the Fourth Day community are not passive. They're serving, they're loving the Lord with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength, and they're getting after it. And that's what I appreciate about you all. Guys, I love you, each and every one of you. I know you're not being passive. I know you're not sitting back. I know you have heart, but you're not the weak people that this particular section of Proverbs are talking about, that you have understanding. And I pray that you continue in that vein, that the Lord strengthens you and keeps you, that he makes his face to shine upon you, that he lifts up his countenance towards you, gives you grace, peace, and fills you with the love that he has for you. My brothers and sisters, I love you. Go out and make a difference in someone's life today. God bless you.